What is up, everybody, and thanks for checking out the video where I recap the process of losing over 20 pounds in 3 months. I don't want this to be a video where I just flex on the fact that I had a successful diet phase. I want to recap the successes that I had, talk about the things that I maybe could have improved upon, and then leave you with a strategy so that you can achieve any fitness goal that you'd like to get done. First of all, guys, I would really appreciate it if you showed some love to me in the channel. Please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and then drop a comment down below. Let me know what some of your fitness goals are. We can get a dialogue going because I'm definitely down to talk about fitness and to help out where I can. So appreciate you guys, and let's get back into the video. In this video, we're going to be discussing those 5 principles that I used successfully for the fat loss phase. And as I'm giving this recap, I think it would be super beneficial for you to kind of think about, or even write down if you want to add some extra accountability, the things that you can apply from this video to your own goal. Let's get into it. Principle number 1 is goal setting and adherence. So to give a quick background, in December of 2020, I actually had a powerlifting meet planned. So I had bulked up to 220. You know, it wasn't all 6-pack and shreds. I had got a little fat. Coming off of that, which my powerlifting meet did get canceled due to COVID, I was in a weird limbo for a week or two. And I decided, I'm going to sit down and really plan out what I want to do with my body composition. As a personal trainer at a gym, when I was living in New Jersey, training at a very nice gym, we had one of those machines that could get your body composition. And I did my test. I was 18% body fat. I think it was pretty accurate. I saw that and I was a little shocked. But I realized, yeah, you know what, I do need to lose some weight. And you don't necessarily have to know your body composition. It was just a nice added bonus. I will say, if you can get your body composition from a DEXA, skin calipers, that's great. But honestly, all you need to know is what weight you're at now and what weight you'd like to be at in the next couple of months. Now, once again, as a personal trainer, a lot of times I heard, oh, I don't really have a specific goal. I just want to get in shape. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you can clearly define something that you'd like to achieve, it's going to be so much more beneficial to you. So take the time. Think about what you really want to look like. Think about how you want to feel. Think about maybe a body weight that you felt very confident and healthy at. Try to get back to that. And a quick shameless plug, if you need help with this process, go to my website. It's dmarttraining.com, and then go ahead and book a free strategy session and we'll get talking. It won't be the last time that I plug my website, so be prepared. So I knew that I was at 18% body fat at around 223 pounds, but I wanted to get to around 10% body fat. So that's not like bodybuilder stage lean, but if you go out on the beach at 10% body fat, you're gonna have the 6-pack, you're gonna be looking good. In order for me to get to that percent body fat, I would have had to weigh 205. That was my initial goal, to drop from 223 to 205, starting in the second week of January and ending in April 1st. And my process was actually so successful that I overtook that goal and ended up at 200, looking pretty shredded. So if you want to go along with this exercise, think about a goal that you'd like to achieve 3 to 6 months down the road. Write it down and start to create short-term goals that will cater toward the success of that long-term goal. So another way you can think about short-term goals is just benchmarks along the process of achieving your long-term goal. I actually set my short-term goals up on a weekly basis, right? So I had 12 weeks for this diet, and I knew that I had to lose about 1.25 pounds per week in order to be successful. So a quick caveat, I would say 1 to 2 pounds is the ideal of weight loss per week. If you go much beyond 2 pounds, I think you're going to be cutting into that hard-earned muscle mass, and generally don't want people to be overly hungry or starving, which can then lead to a cascade of disordered eating, other health issues. So be very conservative. A pound to 2 pounds will be the sweet spot for your weight loss. A lot of big, Fortune 500 companies, they have their own mission statement, right? It's their defining set of principles that drives their day-to-day actions. And for me, I actually wrote this down a while back, so I'm going to read it off to you because I have it right here. It is, I want to serve as a positive example for my clients and community by embodying good health and feeling confident about the way I look and perform. Just my personal mission statement. Yours can be much different. Maybe yours is, I want to be as healthy as possible so I can be around to play with my grandkids. Maybe it's, I want to feel confident about myself and not have to worry about the voice in my head that says you're not enough. It could be a lot of different things. It is a very personal thing, but I think defining that is ultimately what's going to help you be successful. It's important to differentiate between your personal mission statement and your long-term goal, however, because your personal mission statement is the thing that kind of guides you to your goal. It's really how you see your hard work manifesting in your life, right? We're getting deep here, but I think that mission statement is what's going to motivate you to get out and hit the gym on a day where the weather's bad, or maybe it's going to help you avoid those cravings that you have from eating sweets, right? Overall, I think it's very important to have that. And honestly, that personal mission statement and those goals help you adhere to the process. And I think if you do take the necessary time to set those goals and establish that personal mission statement, your adherence is just going to be that much easier, right? You're going to have the plan, you're going to have the thing that you'd like to achieve in your mind, which will help you stick to the overall process. As I mentioned earlier, the second principle is nutrition. We've all heard those corny sayings, abs are made in the kitchen, or 80% of your fat loss is diet, 20% is your workouts. I feel like those are always just arbitrary numbers, and people will just pull whatever number they want out of their butt when they say that, but it is true. Nutrition is extremely important, and that's because you're only going to lose weight if you're in a caloric deficit. What does that mean? So the only way you're going to lose weight is if you burn more than you intake, right? You have to be burning more calories than you're eating. There are a couple ways to successfully structure your nutrition. A lot of different diets work for different people. I can't tell you exactly what's going to work best for you, but I can tell you what's worked well for me and for the clients that I coach. So what I do is I actually track food and macros. I will say, once again, this isn't best for everybody, so we're just going to talk about what I did and what I do with my clients. Basically, what you have to do is understand how many calories you need to consume to lose weight. There's a lot more that goes into it, but when it boils down to it, that's what you need to do. If you need help with this, I have a free guide on my website. Once again, if you sign up for my email list, you'll automatically be emailed this document, and it is called Using Macronutrients to Achieve Your Goals. I'm not going to get super in-depth into the process of how I structured my diet, how I structured my clients' nutrition, because once again, that's something that they pay for, and I want to make sure that that value is kept high. But shout out to my guy Mike, who had, I believe, 18-pound weight loss, 20-pound weight loss over 10 weeks. And Ryan has also worked with me very successfully on their training and diet. But basically what I did was use biometrics and estimated activity levels to determine how many calories you need to eat. And after that, you determine how much protein, carbohydrates, and fat the person will eat. And then you have to periodically adjust that, mostly reducing those macronutrients over time in order to drive that weight loss. Couple things to consider here and points of advice. I wouldn't prolong your diet much more than 12, maybe 16 weeks, because that's when adherence starts to decline the most. You can only really live a restrictive lifestyle for so long. You're not meant to diet year round, guys. A lot of people are always yo-yo dieting. So they're losing fat, gaining it back. And it's just like a vicious cycle. It's not what you should be doing. It's not what you need to do. So make sure that you are strategic in your length of diet so you can adhere as long as possible. I will say it gets to a point where it's downright challenging. Toward the end of my diet, I was hungry. It's not a pleasant thing to do, which goes back to my first point. You don't have to do it year round. The third most important principle is sleep. Not a lot of people are going to want to hear this. In order to have a successful fat loss phase, it behooves you majorly to sleep 7 to 9 hours a night. Why is that? Well, I'm going to link a video that I made last summer that explains exactly
muscle building. In a recent podcast, I stressed the importance of adequate sleep, but myself and many other individuals struggle to get that amount of sleep and understand why it's so critical. The first study is called Insufficient Sleep Undermines Dietary Efforts to Reduce Adiposity. It compares a group of individuals that got 8.5 hours of sleep to a group that got 5.5 hours. While both groups lost weight, the group that received an adequate amount of sleep actually lost equal parts fat mass and lean mass, while the group that was sleep deprived lost more than double the amount of lean mass, meaning they were losing that hard-earned muscle. This occurs because disruptions in REM sleep can alter hormones such as ghrelin and cortisol, which will make you gain weight, and also decrease testosterone and IGF-1, which support muscle building.
Hope you learned something from that. I will be the first to admit I'm not always the best about getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Sometimes I think I can get by in 6 hours of sleep, and I just feel very zapped and tired. Think about it this way, guys. Your energy levels are already going to be low because you're consuming less food. So if you combine that with lack of sleep, it's going to be hard to be quite as productive as you were in the past. So I will say it takes a little bit of discipline. Leave your phone in the other room so you're not scrolling through social media, which I'm the biggest culprit of. Something that I did, just, making sure I'm done with work around an hour before bedtime, making sure I put my phone in another room 30 minutes before bedtime, and then I'll just read a book before bed and fall asleep. Typically I fall asleep around 10 to 10:30. I'll wake up at 6:30. I'm feeling good, and I can go through the rest of my day knowing that I'm going to be productive and that I'm working toward my overall goal. The fourth principle is training. Now, a lot of times people will say, should I focus on cardio or other types of workouts when I'm trying to diet? And I will say both, but I actually place that training a little bit higher up than cardio. And here I'll tell you why. So of course, resistance training with weights, or you can even expand this a little bit more broadly, resistance training, yoga, Pilates, bar, stuff that challenges your muscles in general, broad terms here, are very, very beneficial to maintain your muscle mass during your diet, right? Everybody's worked hard for their muscle, but if you're not weight training or doing any type of resistance training during your diet, it has that much less reason to stick around. And additionally, a lot of people kind of have the general idea that muscle burns fat. It's a very buzzword phrase. But what that really boils down to is that lean muscle mass is more calorically demanding than, let's say, fat mass. So basically, if you have more muscle, you're going to be burning more calories and you can eat more food and still lose weight. It's a great setup. So I will say you don't have to train like a power lifter or a bodybuilder where you're going super hard and super heavy. I like doing that because I like the physique that comes from it. But once again, you could do anything that really challenges your muscles. Yoga, Pilates, bar. So I personally specialize in more powerlifting and hypertrophy training. If you need help with that, feel free to reach out. The fifth and final principle is your cardio. Cardio is a great tool for any fat loss diet simply because it drives your caloric expenditure, which allows you to eat a little bit more and stay full so you don't have to cut quite as many calories. So a lot of successful bodybuilders, they'll go entire preps without doing cardio. They'll just restrict their food that much. Personally, that's very challenging for me, and I like to consume a little bit more food, which is why I will typically do more cardio so I can eat more, right? But cardio is pretty simple, guys. It has great aerobic benefits for your heart. So I would recommend that you partake in cardio on a weekly basis. 3 to 5, maybe even 6 times a week is completely manageable. So what I did was I started it slow. I didn't go crazy and do too much, but eventually I did ramp my cardio up. Basically, What my dad and I do now that I'm living and working from home is we walk every day at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Or on other days, we'll go to the YMCA in the mornings and play pickleball, where I whoop up on the old people. It's just what I do. Call me ruthless, it's fine. I always like to break up my work day with a little walk at 10 and 2. Great to kind of reset your brain so you don't get burnt out. And then also toward the end, I started adding either low intensity steady state, which is just, kind of going through the motions, riding the bike of my Airdyne bike, or I would do high intensity interval training where you would go, let's say 15 second sprint, 45 second, just kind of coasting. So I did add quite a bit of cardio toward the end. I would say I was maybe doing 45 minutes to an hour, 3 to 5 times a week. Sometimes I will see certain people doing like 2 hours of cardio a day, or they'll do an hour of cardio 7 days a week. And I think that might not be the most beneficial, because if you're doing that much cardio, you might be impeding upon your recovery from your weight training sessions. So I would advise against that, but definitely find a type of cardio that you like and enjoy and run with it. There's nothing wrong with that. I think if you keep these 5 principles in mind as you plan out your fitness goal, you'll definitely be more successful for it. If you need any help, of course, feel free. Check out my website and book a free 15-minute strategy session so we can bounce ideas back and forth. Or if you'd like to streamline the process and work with me, I'm definitely big on creating training, nutrition, and other daily habits that can help you achieve those goals. So guys, if you liked the video, I really appreciate it. If you showed some love to the channel, please hit me with a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. I also host a podcast called The Trainer Scoop, which is on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. So go check that out, and then give me a follow on Instagram at DmartTraining. Check out the website. I think I've linked just about everything here, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around if you've made it this far. I'll catch you in the next one.